Sorry guys, one last video on Taylor Swift, I promise. So, we all know what I think about Taylor Swift, right? I made a whole video about it. But then, I wondered, did I actually change anyone's opinion on her? So me and my friend came up with an idea to try to test this theory. So, I'll be answering the question today, can a metalhead learn to like Taylor Swift? To answer that question, I brought my friend Tom Perkins along, drummer and producer. Tom, introduce yourself.
Hello. Hi. I am Tom Perkins. Yeah, I am said metalhead. It's not all I listen to, but it's a good title, alright. Yeah, so I've, been making my own music for, 6 years. And yeah, I've been playing drums forever. I wanted to do this experiment because I don't like not liking music. I want to like everything, and Taylor Swift kind of isn't on my radar, so I want to see if I can come to appreciate her after this recording.
I know personally that you have great taste in music because we lived together for a while. Tell the viewers a little bit about what kind of stuff you like.
Yeah, so, for metal, I'm really into Gojira, Slipknot, System of a Down, and classic stuff, Metallica, Black Sabbath, all of the classics. But like I said, it's not all I listen to. I've been listening to a lot of ft.Doom, Daniel Caesar, The Wombats, Herbie Hancock, some jazz. But I also like some, more pop music, like 5 Seconds of Summer, I really like. Even a bit of Sabrina Carpenter here and there, I'm not a pop music hater, alright?
Top 3 albums from your notes, go.
At the moment, probably From Mars to Sirius by Gojira, Mad Villainy, ft.Doom.
Personal favorite as well.
It's very good. Maybe we're gonna go Case Study 01 by Daniel Caesar.
Tom, the viewers already know what I think about Taylor, so I wanted to ask you, as someone who's probably not listened to her as much, what your initial impressions of her are before we get into listening to an album.
My thoughts on Taylor are a bit, I just don't care much for her stuff. Like, every time I listen to a Taylor Swift song, it kind of doesn't do anything for me. I'm not like a raving hater, right? But I don't have a connection to any of the stuff that she sings about or the music she makes. I think a big part of my taste in music is the actual music rather than the lyrics, which I know, like you've said in the past, like, oh, her lyrics are so good, but I kind of don't really care about lyrics. So, if that's the main selling point, then, maybe it's not for me.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, off the top of your head, can you name, some of the songs to see what level we're at?
What's the one? There was one that I liked when I was
Great start.
There's one that I liked when I was 11 or 12 years old, and it was Taylor Swift did fucking dubstep.
Oh.
Now we're going to the cold hard ground. Whoa! That one.
Oh wait, no, that's from Red.
What's that?
Yeah, it's Trouble.
Trouble.
I knew you were Trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, Red was a good album.
That's kind of funny. And then there's Bad Blood
from 1989, classic. Kendrick was on that song.
Was he?
Yeah.
Damn.
Official feature.
Well, I guess I don't know it that well then.
Well, you didn't name Shake It Off, so I think that's good.
Oh, true. Shake It Off.
So, the plan today was I pick an album from Taylor's discography that I think Tom might have an appreciation for, and then we'll listen to it, get what his opinions are on the specific songs, and then we'll conclude with an overall how he feels about Taylor after listening to an album in full. So obviously the album I picked is gonna be Reputation. I got this bad boy right here. This album, I said in my video, is probably the best intro album because it's got a good mix of both hype, but also a little bit of the chill love songs that we've grown to love about Taylor Swift. Interestingly, I was gonna pick Life of a Showgirl because the new album is all topical and shit, but turns out no one likes that album, so I ended up not going for it. Tom, would you like to hear some context about this album before we listen?
Go for it, man. Okay, so you're telling me Kanye West, not a good guy?
Crazy! Alright, then I want to say my starting hypothesis for how this experiment is gonna go. Like you said, you're not really into lyrics that much, but at the end of the day, it is a big part of her. I'll ask you to try to put in a little bit of effort trying to look at the lyrics and seeing if anything clicks. But at the end of the day, if that's not the thing you're looking for in music, then I think you'll still think that she might not be for you at the end. We'll see. The production might carry it. There are some bangers in here, but that's what my initial hypothesis is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't care, I'm apathetic towards lyrics, but it's not the main thing that I focus on.
Yeah, right. So you ready for listening to the album?
Let's go for it, man.
Bonus track, Life of a Showgirl, Elizabeth Taylor, because it fits with Reputation. Alright, let's go. Alright, Tom. So, how's this album?
It was fine. It was like exactly what I thought it would be like, to be honest. I don't know. I wanted to be shocked. Instrumentally, it was maybe more interesting than I thought. I thought it was going to be more like acoustic guitar, singer-songwriter type thing, but there was a lot more synth stuff, and I mean, I heard tablet, like Indian drums in there at one point.
Yeah, I saw that you got kind of surprised by the more EDM approach to a lot of the production.
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes, and then I was like, I don't know about EDM. There's a lot of songs which have that sort of, electronic sort of hype, pumping, like compression type thing. So I guess parts of it were not how I was expecting.
So, are you ready for it? Tell me your thoughts.
I liked the intro womp womps. Going into that, I was like, oh, this is not like acoustic guitar singer-songwriter. Maybe a highlight of the album, I think. Did it peak early? Maybe. But yeah, I quite liked it. Near the end, she was doing a triplet flow with her lyrics over, like, I think 16th note hi-hats, and it sounded quite cool. That was the type of thing where I was like, I wouldn't expect that.
I wrote that it's got that She's So Nice by Pink Eye vibe, where it's like really aggressive, and then it cuts to this really nice, chill, like, love track, which is the same thing Joji does. This pick kind of perfectly encapsulates the album. She's kind of still pissed about all the drama, and she's like more edgy now. But at the end of the day, this is a love album, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did get very edgy vibes from this album. I feel like she wanted to tell us she was a bad bitch, basically.
Alright, next song, Endgame.
I wrote in my notes, this sounds generic as hell, and I feel like I'll forget it. I forgot it.
In my opinion, this was a very passive listening song, even though it's got some cool features. She put cool embellishments and like synth details that she puts throughout, but that's kind of like eh. Next one. I Did Something Bad.
Yeah, there was some cool production elements on this, especially the reverb. I was noticing a lot. They were really messing about with that. They do like freeze, which is when you kind of, it's like you take the reverb tail and then just like don't let it decay, so it just like stays there. You know, at some points they would have this like reverb tail and then just chop it off so it goes to silence. I thought that was really cool. The 808 bass line was interesting. I said, bruh, the 808s are trying to tell me something, because they sounded active.
Yep, I feel like she experimented a lot, or at least the producers did, with instrumentation, because there was a lot of weird and quirky instruments here.
Hang on, can we stay on about how she cheated on Calvin Harris?
Oh yeah, okay. The lyrics are kind of basically about how she left Calvin Harris, who was her boyfriend before she got with Joe Alwyn, and she doesn't feel bad about it. Yeah, it's kind of like, damn, fair enough.
She said, yeah, I cheated. I'm fucking Taylor Swift. What are you gonna do? So did she cheat with Joe, or was it...
Assumably it was either Joe or the other guy, Tom Hiddleston. Either of them. I don't know. I'm not that big of a Taylor Swift lore nerd to know.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Anyway, don't blame me.
Yeah, this is when I wrote down that she's a bit more EDM adjacent than I realised. And it wasn't even particularly like dubstep EDM type thing, because it was quite relaxed and chill, but then it had a lot of pumping synths and stuff, which, yeah, kind of made me, I guess, rethink, well, like, what the average Taylor Swift song is like. Because I know I said in the beginning, like, oh, you know, when Taylor Swift went dubstep with Trouble. So I thought that was just like a one-off, where she was like, guys, what if it was like, wow. Apparently, this is common for Taylor Swift.
During this phase of her career, at least, yeah.
When did this album come out?
This was 2017. Alright, then we got Delicate.
Yeah, by track 5, I was getting bored. I wrote down, we're literally only on 5 out of 15. When's it gonna end? I mean, Sam, you wrote in your notes, the pop music meta is to just put a load of singles in the album and not think about the order.
I mean, there is some thought about the order. Taylor has like a tradition of, on every track 5, it will be the most vulnerable and like real song for her in terms of lyrics. It's All Too Well was a track 5. In Lover, track 5 was The Archer. Again, it's like very heavy and real. I didn't really feel it for this song. I mean, it was slower, anxious, I'd argue, but it wasn't like sad. So I kind of think she just stuck to the pop meta of like, album structure doesn't matter, just squeeze as many songs in there.
See, I have an issue with that. I really love an album where it's like, you know, you listen from start to finish and It tells like a story. You feel like you've gone through a journey. And you know, when you ask me like my favourite albums, it's my favourite collection of songs. It's like a book, you know, and you can read a chapter at a time and you can get something out of that chapter, but like you've got to read the whole book in order. Yeah, just having kind of, oh, there's a song and there's another song and I made that one next and then I made that one. It's a bit, I don't know, it needs something more.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any Taylor Swift albums that really care about the structure that much. Swifties tell me if I'm wrong, but this ain't no Kendrick Lamar's Damn, where the songs can be played forward and backward and it has a different meaning.
Yeah.
None of that. Alright, look what you made me do.
What did you make me do? This one was very, very edgy. Possibly the most edgy. I put in my notes that it feels like I'm watching a film and they go into a club and you're like, whoa, what a cool club, it's so edgy. Yeah, kind of what like 50-year-old white men think, oh, this is what the kids in their edgy clubs listen to, right? It's a bit too on the nose. Yeah, the old me is dead. Whoa, where's the old Taylor? She's dead. Really? Like, oh, come on. That was a bit cringe. I did write kinda cool though,
Yeah.
so who am I to say?
It kind of works. This song is the most about the drama, and I wrote on my notes the lyric, all I can think about is karma. It's an interesting detail, because Karma, the fans say, is like an album she was going to release between 1989 and when the drama happened, but then that thing went down and she couldn't release it anymore because everyone hated her. So her being like, all I can think about is karma, is like she feels bad for the fact that she didn't release that album, which I thought was a cool detail.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
Next song. So It Goes.
I said this one sounded like AI music and Sam had a big issue with that.
I mean, I disagree, but you know, have your opinion. I think if AI music sounded like this, we'd all be out of a job and we'd be cooked. I said that a cool detail is the who's counting 1, 2, 3. That was like funny. I like that detail.
I think it's silly. I think it's maybe just my opinion on pop music in general. That's why the best AI music is pop music. You know, if you say AI write a rap song or write a metal song, it struggles. With pop music, it can make something more standard. Like, okay, yeah, that sounds like every other pop song. And I think that's kind of because pop songs are just a bit generic, maybe.
And I think this one is a bit of an offender for that thing.
I think that's why I said it, because it's just like, it just sounds like everything else.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv.
Then we got Gorgeous.
Way.
Even for me, this one is a bit weak.
Yeah. This one was rough. This one was trash, man.
Harsh.
Early learning center xylophone type beat. What was anyone thinking? Like, goddamn, that was awful. Like the rainbow xylophones you get for like 4-year-olds.
Yep. The ding before the chorus is extra egregious. That is like,
Yeah.
who cooked that up?
Yeah, there was one lyric that I wrote down. I'm gonna stumble home to my cats alone. Shut up, man. Do you know what, like, I said it was wine mum core. Yeah. We get it, Taylor. You're a millennial woman. Ugh.
I wrote in my notes, there was this moment when she said the lyric, ocean blue eyes, I might just drown and die, or something like that. And I said it was a cool moment because, like, oh, she's talking about the drowning in his eyes. It's like, lyrically, that's well put together. And you were like, oh, I'm not really paying attention. And that's kind of the thing of you and this artist. If you're not paying attention to these more, like, interesting lyrics, a lot of the value in the song just kind of drops. Because one thing I said in my Taylor Swift video is that musically, production-wise, all that shit, she's not one of the greats, you know? It's the lyrics that adds all the value. So if you're spacing out during the lyrics, it's like you lose a bit of that value.
You know, we've talked about Taylor Swift in the past many times, and you said she's like the MF Doom of pop music.
I stand by that.
With MF Doom's lyrics, you can't not pay attention to them. Do you know what I mean? The way every single line is phrased, if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, like, what are you doing? It's different. Every word rhymes with every word. In terms of, like, the words he's using, you go, well, that's really cool. And then that forces you to pay attention to the words, and then you're like, oh wait, what he's actually saying is, like, really, really cool. But with Taylor, it's a bit like, you can just listen to it passively, like you were saying before. And when you're listening passively, it's just like noise, you know. It's not egregious, it's not like, turn this off, but it's just like, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Here's what I think about this specifically. When you listen to MF Doom, the way he uses lyrics and in bars and stuff, he's using his voice more as like an instrument and as a addition to the whole overall production of the song, because he's caring a lot more about the way the words sound in terms of alliteration, rhyming, plosives, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Taylor, it's about the specific words and the meaning behind them. If we think about lyrics in terms of poetry, MF Doom is like a poet who cares about the pentameter and the rhythm of the words and how they sound together phonetically. Whereas Taylor is the kind of poet where you're digging in about the lyrics and digging in about what they mean, specific interactions between specific words, and like the things that they make you feel. They are both masters at what they do, but they take a very different approach to how the lyrics sound. Like Taylor, it's more about, oh, she said this line, and it's like about how she feels about this thing, and you infer meaning, kind of like you're in English class, you know? You're trying to annotate through the subtlety of the lyrics she's writing. Whereas MF Doom, you just listen to it and it's like very fun. And it's like, oh my god, he rhymed 3 words in once, and it's like, the whole fucking sentence is like alliterated. That's so cool.
I did not enjoy those classes in English. Yeah, I think maybe it's just a me problem, because like you're saying in English class, where I remember we did a poem called Fallen Leaves. I don't know why this is stuck in my brain from like year 9. It was a poem about some autumn day, and she's like walking through the park and there are leaves falling down, and the teacher was like, what does this mean, guys? And I'm like, I don't know, she's in a park and there are leaves. She's like, no, this poem was written in 1916 and the leaves are supposed to be soldiers, and it's talking about dead soldiers.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, no.
Metaphors and nuance. So MF Doom uses more like rhymes. He does use metaphors, like in that one where he's like robbing a store with his beats, you know. Taylor is more, everything is like a metaphor and it means something. Not all the time. Sometimes she gets lazy, but a lot of time her best lyrics are that. Anyway, Getaway Car.
Damn. All I said is, okay, yeah, this one's good, I like it. Yeah, I can remember the chorus of this song, which is more than I can say for most of these songs, so that's got something for it. Just the fact that I feel like most of our stuff is forgettable. This one wasn't.
This is one where the lyrics are kind of cool, which wasn't a theme in this album, but this one is pretty cool. It's like using an extended metaphor of like a crime duo like Bonnie and Clyde, and it's like a lot of references to that, a lot of metaphors using like the getaway car as like them going away and like doing illicit affairs type shit. It's actually about Tom Hiddleston, apparently. That's interesting. Alright.
King of My Heart. Yeah, I thought there was some weird rhythms going on. You know, I'm a drummer, I fuck with weird rhythms, but I was like, that sounds odd. I was not convinced. It was like, I think the flow of the lyrics against the beat was peculiar.
Yeah, it was kind of syncopated at times as well.
Like I said, I'm a drummer, I'm all here for syncopation, but it just sounded a little
off.
Like it didn't convince me.
Sure. I knew this song was like one of the ones I really liked from this album, but listening I was like, this song is very all over the place. I kind of didn't even know where to start.
I said, I do not like the 808s. Yeah, they were like very gritty. Yeah, I thought in general the production of this album was very like here and there. Like some of it was like, that sounds really tight, really good. And then some of it was like, the 808s in this song, like it sounded like you needed to go back to the kitchen. Not in that way. Oh fuck! Taylor Swift hater never gets past the sexism allegations. But I said cool vocoder, I guess.
The vocoder was cool.
Not bad, not bad.
Then we got Dancing with Our Hands Tied, and it turned everything around for me.
You were like, this is my favorite one or something.
Yep.
I got nothing. Very, very forgettable.
Really?
Like, I literally listened to this song, 20 minutes ago? I have no recollection of anything that happened.
I mean, the only reason why I like this song is because in the verses, I like the stuff the synths are doing, and the production is very different style. It's kind of like mellow, like a chill hop synth wave song, which I thought was interesting. Like the production did a switch up, and I like when stuff switches up, especially in pop, when everything sounds the same.
To be fair, actually, the one thing I do remember is like, I didn't hate it. You saying chill hop, I was like, oh yeah, it kind of was like that, and I kind of liked that vibe.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, then we got Dress.
This one, I liked the chorus. I remember she said, only bought this dress for you to take it off, which I didn't like clock on till like
The meaning?
what that means. I know that sounds really dumb. It's like obvious, but it's just like, that's what I mean when I'm not paying attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like, I hear the words, but I don't put meaning to them. And then you were like, oh, that's a cool lyric. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what she's talking about. It was cool. Yeah, I said it feels a little bit 80s. It kind of had that vibe to it.
This song kind of feels like it would fit in Midnight, and to a certain extent, some of the songs in Life of Sugar. It's got that 80s like production. She had a big phase where her and Jack Antonoff, her producer, were like doing a lot of 80s sounding stuff. Like in 1999, Taylor's version, the bonus tracks were like that as well.
Jack and Antoff.
The keys on the chorus were cool. It brought the production down and mellowed everything out. Added a nice softness and like vulnerability to the song, which I thought was cool. That lyric you said, only brought this address so you could take it off. It's like, oh man, she really likes this dude. And this is what I mean when I say that this album is her strongest love album from her whole discography. Even though she literally has an album called Lover. This is like the most sweetest, like, she's just in love with this dude, you know? And it feels good to hear sometimes. This is why we can't have nice things.
There were some really nice harmonies. I especially remember them like right at the start. I think they went throughout. But like really like tight harmonization got my attention. I was like, ooh, very pretty. So I do like the song. Well, I can't really remember it, but I've written down there that I liked it. I did say that it was quite formulaic. Like the verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro, you know, it was very like, cool, okay, yeah, and now you're gonna do, yeah, and then it's gonna be, yeah, chorus.
100% agree.
Yeah, it was just like exactly what you'd expect, done exactly how you'd expect. I think songs that I am really drawn to break away from that, because you go, I was not expecting that to happen. But with a lot of these songs, I'm like, I was expecting that to happen.
Then we got Call It What You Want.
I said it's forgettable. Yeah, basically, that's it.
I agree. This is the most like skippable, like unremarkable song in the album, I think. I did write that the lyrics are really sweet. They are very much like she just really likes this guy a lot and like pulled her from like a dark moment in her life. But the music itself doesn't carry the lyrics.
So for you, if you like the lyrics, why don't you like the song?
Sometimes it needs to have both, you know? The lyrics on this one were nice, but they weren't so nice where I'm like, oh my god, this is poetry. That combined with the fact that the song was nothing special just makes the song really mid. It's like you can have nice lyrics, but you need to deliver them properly. And this song, I feel like, didn't deliver them as well as, say, the next song. Which is New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. It was nice. This is a good ballad, you know what I mean? I said it sounded like a sad Pixar film, you know, like Andy's selling all of his toys type shit. Maybe there's hints of bit generic, but then like it's a ballad, like a load of them are. I listened to it and I went, this is nice.
This feels very different from the rest because it's like just a ballad with like piano and like some ornamentation instruments, which is very different from the EDM and like dance that we've been listening to before. And the lyrics here, because of that piano ballad, are delivered so nicely, and they're like such nice lyrics. Like, I'll be picking up bottles with you on New Year's Day. That's so romantic. That's so nice. It's like, I want to be with you for every New Year's. That's sweet.
Yeah, I like the production on this one. It sounded very warm and very full. And I noticed there was the guitar was like only in my left ear. Because sometimes when you hard pan something, it feels a bit like your head's being pulled down to one side, but this was just done really well. It sounded like top dollar.
And I feel like it needs to be said, this was like a really good way to end an album. It feels like an intro to Lover. Closes off that era, goes into the next one.
I don't know the next album that came out, but I thought it was a bit of a weird one to end on. I feel like this is a sort of maybe just past 2/3 through the album. Again, we're talking about album structure, right? I think it matters a lot. If I was in charge of doing the album order, I would choose a different one. Maybe Dress. I feel like with the intro and the outro, you want it to encapsulate what the whole album is about. At the start and the end are like quite different to actually the meat of the album, which is interesting.
I disagree, because I think thematics is the most important thing for album bookends. The first one is kind of aggressive, and then it's really mellow and love-based, which is kind of like what the album is, trying to be more EDM and dance. but she's still writing nice love songs. And then New Year's Day is the end of the album because it's like mellowed out completely. She's put all the drama behind her and she's just chilling and being happy with the love of her life, and she's ready to move on. That's how I interpret it.
Actually, I get that. I hadn't thought of it as sort of like, you know, calming down throughout. Yeah, I feel like you could order the songs again. I feel like there could be a smoother transition.
The way to order this album would have been really easy. Put all the angry songs at the start, then put the like kind of like chilling out songs where she's like talking about her boyfriend, and then end on the chill stuff. So that concludes Reputation. However, I did say I wanted us to check out Elizabeth Taylor from Life of a Showgirl, because I and a bunch of other fans say this song kind of belongs in Reputation. We listened to it. What'd you think?
It was good. I liked it. Kind of heartfelt, I guess. It's kind of like, I feel like you need to know more about Taylor Swift's past and her dramas and her beefs and all of that. So maybe it's like you get more out of it if you do know that stuff.
Yeah, the context kind of matters.
I think that this song had a really, really tight production. I think it sounded really good. It sounded really warm, full. The mix was good, the compression, everything. It was like, wow. You can tell she's a billionaire because that money's going somewhere, you know what I mean? And then you said, who's gonna tell him?
I completely agree with you, Tom. The production on this song is absolutely cracked. Like, the way that chorus was executed with the, like, drop out into, like, heavy low pianos with, like, all the vocals and, like, all the other instruments, ornaments, and whatever. That was, like, mwah, chef's kiss. However, this is the best produced song in the whole album. It is not fucking close. I honestly would argue this song being so good is what made the rest of the album sound so shit, because it's not close. Even worse than being bad, the production in the rest of the album is just so mid. If you want to hear music that sounds like it's AI, listen to this album.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, you'd think the album would sound consistent.
I mean, I'm not saying the production is incompetent. It's just very, like, generic and very mid. And they're not trying anything. In this album, even if the production kind of missed sometimes, you could tell that they were, like, adding a little bit of cool, weird instruments and, like, weird synths. And they were trying stuff. In Life of a Showgirl, they did not try stuff.
I've not really heard anything about Life of a Showgirl, apart from even the Swifties don't fuck with this one. I've seen some of the lyrics. Is the song called Wood?
Okay, I'm gonna defend that one. We're not getting in too deep into it. But superficially, it's about the guy's dick.
Didn't she call him like a redwood tree or some shit?
Yep.
Wow.
Alright, Tom. Now that we've finished the listening section and the review section, let's answer the big questions. First one.
Hit me.
Did your opinion on Taylor Swift change after listening to this album?
I kind of guess it's hard to know exactly everything about Taylor Swift from listening to one album. I definitely thought that her music was more singer-songwriter, acoustic guitar type of thing. And there was some of that in there, but there was also a lot of stuff that I wasn't really expecting. Like, especially all the synth stuff, a lot of the production stuff. So I guess, you know, maybe it's more experimental than I thought she was. Maybe a bit more diverse. But overall, I think it's still kind of what I had in my head was what I got, I think.
Fair. On this album specifically, any of the songs that you'd maybe listen to again, or any favorites you could pick out from the album?
I'm not sure. I don't think I would go, okay, yeah, listening to that one again and, like, you know, putting it on my playlists or anything. I will say there are some that I think if they came on, I wouldn't press skip. Which, you know, it's something. Maybe Ready for It, I wouldn't skip. I Did Something Bad was kind of cool. I know I kind of bragged on Look What You Made Me Do, because it was like ultra edgy, but kind of don't hate it. Getaway Car was good. Maybe Dress, New Year's Day. You know, if I had to have like standouts from the album, I guess that's what I would say.
Knowing that in her different albums, she kind of genre shifts and her vibes change a lot, would you try another album? Let's say like Folklore or Evermore for the like folk pop vibe, or TTPD for the like dramatic emo girl vibe?
Listening to Reputation didn't make me go, oh, I need to check her other stuff out. Because like I said, it's kind of like, that's what I thought I was in for. But if you wanted to get me on another call and say, let's do this album this time, I'd be like, sure. And I'd be interested interested to see how different it is.
That's a good answer, to be fair. And finally, how much do you think she just isn't for you, or is she just bad?
I think it's definitely that she isn't for me. I'm quite hesitant to call any artist bad because it means something to someone, and it's not like I'm trying to like not be a dickhead or whatever and I'm like don't want to offend people. It's more just like if someone gets something out of it, then like it's clearly doing something. So for me personally, it doesn't really make me feel much, but I know because it's Taylor Swift and her fans are quite vocal that it does mean a lot to a lot of people. And I think it's because a lot of it sounded generic. I know I keep saying it's generic, but it's like I don't get why anyone would be that loyal, because we all know Swifties are loyal. It feels like, imagine being loyal to fast food. Like imagine being like, oh my god, McDonald's is the best ever. It's like you might go there like every once in a while, but like you just go, yeah, and then you eat it and you're like, yeah, that was what I thought it would be like. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing special to me. It serves a purpose.
And obviously I would say this, how much do you think that's just because lyrics are not just something you pay attention to and it's not something you like looking deeply into? Because that's the big strength of Taylor Swift. That's why she's the #1 pop singer. Her lyrics hit.
Yeah, I fully get that maybe is the issue. When I hear a song, I think of the words more of like another instrument. Again, that's why I like MF Doom, because he uses his words like an instrument and he's damn good at playing that instrument. You know, I'm thinking of like the melodies and the rhythms more than like what she's saying. If I was the type of person that listened to lyrics, maybe I'd go, wow, this is great, but I'm just not that kind of guy.
And that's very fair. That kind of answered our question, which was, can a metalhead learn to like Taylor Swift? And like I said in my other video, just because she's the #1 pop singer in the world doesn't mean that everyone is gonna love her. It's about what kind of stuff you're looking for in songs. Do you think we got to a good conclusion in this video, Tom?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know why. I want to like it. I want to get it. I think because so many people love it, I want to know why. And maybe that involves listening to another album. So maybe we should do a follow-up.
Ooh. Leave it in the comments if you want to see this metalhead reacts to Taylor Swift part 2.
We got somewhere. I listened to the album. It was what I thought it was going to be.
Fair enough.
Essentially.
And I guess to kind of follow up on did I answer the question, I feel like my video ended up doing what I wanted it to. I knew Tom was kind of down on Taylor Swift. He wasn't like a massive hater, but if I ever suggested putting it on a playlist, he'd be like, man, we're listening to Herbie Hancock, dude, shut up.
No.
So the fact that he watched my video and was like, you know what, maybe you're right, maybe I just don't get it. I feel like that was already a success. Thank you very much for coming, Tom. I'll leave all your channels and Spotify stuff in the description.
Spotify
Check out
link in
Tom's
description.
music. He released an album not that long ago, Reflections. It was very good.
Yeah.
I may or may not have played an instrument in one of the songs.
True. By the way, I do not make metal, so don't be like, no way. Yeah, it's what I listen to, but my music is actually very chill and relaxed. So yeah, check it out. You'll probably like it.
You probably would. All right, Tom. See you next time. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me, man.
Bye,
Cool.
guys.
See ya.
Fuck off.